All right, here we go. This is Mr. C of Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. Good morning, my middle schoolers and high schoolers. That's grade 6th all the way through grade 12. This is your music lesson. So let's get ready. First of all, let's make sure that you guys have, I'm just checking my microphone and everything. Okay, make sure that you guys have your materials today. You're going to need your manuscript paper, okay? If you have your manuscript notebook already and a pencil, good working pencil with an eraser, great. If you don't have that, then of course, as I've always said, you have your options. You can either go onto your Patreon account, okay? Find the PDF with our manuscript paper that you can print out. It has our logo on it, and then you could just print it out, and you can make yourselves a bunch of copies. You should have done that already, okay? Hopefully you guys were able to do that, but if not, it's available, okay? Print it out right now, or just make your own. Take a blank sheet of white paper with a straight edge or a ruler and start drawing some staff lines, okay? Do that, okay? And then you will be ready, but definitely you need a pencil with a good working eraser. We're going to be continuing to work on our intervals today, but before that, we have our exercise. We have a little stretching exercise, and we have our hymnal for today. So our hymnal for today, by the way, is called Let All Mortal Flesh Keep Silence. Go onto your Google search engine and type in those words. Type in that title, Let All Mortal Flesh Keep Silence, and type in the word lyrics, and those lyrics should pop up. But before we do anything else, let's get to our Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy jingle. If you know it, sing along. Here we go. Time for school, time for music, time to learn together. We can do it. Learning is fun with Mr. C. And learning is fun once again. Okay, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, and 12th grade. It is time for your lesson. Let's get to going. Okay, hopefully you're getting those lyrics handy again for the Let All Mortal Flesh Keep Silence hymn. Okay, and let's do some stretches. Okay, so sit up nice and straight and reach into the sky as high as you can. Reach, 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 reach. There you go. I'm just trying, kind of checking the time. There you go. Reach into the sky as high as you can, everybody, and let it drop. Okay, make sure your back is straight, your shoulders are relaxed, and your feet are planted on the floor. Okay, let's roll the shoulders. Breathe. Make sure you're breathing while you're doing these exercises. It's a good idea when you're limbering up, and that's just a general rule when you're doing any type of physical activity. Great. Now everybody roll the shoulders forward. Roll the shoulders forward. Excellent, guys. Great job. Okay, now everybody rotate the necks in a circle very slowly. Nice and easy. Don't give yourselves any whiplash by going too fast. All right, everybody rotate in the other direction. All right, great job, everybody. Now everybody look all the way up. Look all the way down. Look all the way to your right. Look all the way to your left. And shrug and hold those shoulders. Shrug and hold. And drop. Shrug and hold those shoulders again. And drop. Make sure you also tilt your head to the right. And tilt your head to the left. Forgot this exercise. Now everybody shrug and hold again. And drop. Okay, everybody put your hands in front of you like this and start opening and closing your hands. Just kind of get that going. We're doing quite a bit of writing today. Okay, as we were doing last week when it comes to intervals. Okay. Great. Now everybody squeeze your hands and keep squeezing. Keep going tight. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Keep going. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And shake it out. Shake it out. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep breath out. Once again, deep breath in. And deep breath out. And we are good to go. All right, so let's do our hymn. Get our minds right. Praising God before we do anything, because God is first in our lives, okay? He is first. Let all mortal flesh keep silence. Now, a little bit of background on this particular hymn. This particular hymn was a Greek poem that was supposedly, historians suppose that it was written back in 275 AD, okay? Not entirely sure, okay? They can't get the actual date on that, but 275 AD is the probable date, probable year that this particular poem was written, and it was a Greek poem. It was written in Greek first, and then it was translated by Gerard Moultrie, translated to English by Gerard Moultrie, and then Ralph Vaughan Williams came along to arrange it to arrange the music for this particular hymn. So we're going to be singing this. Let all mortal flesh keep silence. All of us who are human, keep silence and praise God and watch as God does his miracles, does his things, that does all that he's supposed to do, and we are to worship him. And, that's basically what this song is about. So it's a very solemn, mellow sounding kind of hymn but when you look at the words, very, very quite powerful. Okay, I just learned it this past Sunday myself, singing it with my family, and I wanted to learn it and actually showcase it for this week. Okay, so let's sing together, having those lyrics handy. Okay, try to follow along as best as you can. Let all mortal flesh keep silence. Here we go. I'm going to bring the piano. I'm sorry, I should say the camera over to the piano a little bit closer. And let's get to it, everybody. Sit up nice and straight. Make sure you're still sitting up nice and straight. Shoulders relaxed. Okay, and here we go. Let all mortal flesh keep silence. Probably a good idea to turn on my keyboard. There you go. Here we go. Let all mortal flesh keep silence, and with fear and trembling stand. Ponder nothing earthly minded, for with blessing in his hand, Christ our God to earth descended, our full homage to demand. King of kings, yet born of Mary, as of old on earth he stood, Lord of lords in human vesture, in the body and the blood, he will give to all the faithful his own self for heavenly food. Rank on rank the host of heaven spreads its vanguard on the way, as the light of light descended from the realms of endless day, that the powers of hell may vanish as the darkness clears away. At his feet the six-winged seraph, cherubim with sleepless eye, veil their faces to the presence, as with ceaseless voice they cry, Alleluia, 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 Lord Most High. And that was Let All Mortal Flesh Keep Silence. Everybody give yourselves a nice round of applause if you were able to follow along with that. If not, if you had a little bit of an issue trying to follow along with those words, you know, as I always say, guys, you have the lyrics there. And you have the video available to you anytime you want. So all you have to do is go back to the video, have the lyrics handy, and just practice with the video, okay? But that was, once again, Let All Mortal Flesh Keep Silence, a Greek poem that was translated by Gerard Moultrie and music arranged by Ralph Vaughan Williams, okay? All right, let's get right to it, everybody. Get to our intervals. Get your pencils, your manuscript paper out, okay? Whether it's the PDF that you printed, hopefully, or your actual manuscript notebook that you were able to have, or you've made your own. Okay, make sure you have that ready and a good working pencil with an eraser. We are going to go right to the whiteboard and continue our lesson in regards to intervals. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to change the height of my camera. I'm going to be doing a lot of standing, of course, so that you guys can see everything. Okay, so bear with me a moment. I'm going to be also using the chalkboard over here. Take a look. I got a chalkboard. Yeah. Okay, I think I've used it with you guys before. So I'm going to be doing that for our separate intervals. Okay. So once again, have everything ready, my friends. Okay. Okay, let me see if you guys can see everything. Okay, great. Actually, okay, so everybody take a good look. So we are, you know what? I am not happy with my letter names. I would say, you know, I got a good amount of light, but don't think they're as dark as I'd like. The letter names are as dark as I'd like it to be. So bear with me a moment. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, high C. Why is the high C bigger than the other ones? I have no idea. Why is this B looking so sloppy? I don't know. Okay, but in any event, there you go. So I think that's a little bit, you know what? No, it's not that much better. I think I need to ease up on the light. That's what it is. Okay, let's see. That, I think, works much better. Okay, so we have the C scale, as you guys have seen before. Okay, you probably won't see much, you know, in and out, okay? But what's more important is what's on the board, okay? All right, so we have the C scale, which is no sharps, no flats, all in the key of C. We're using treble clef for this, okay? I think I can angle this a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so we start on the middle C. We went from C to D as a major second. If we remember that, C to D major second. Actually, I'll do a couple of brackets just so that we're remembering. Okay, so here we go. This was a major second interval. Okay, remember intervals. Intervals are a distance between two notes. That's really what it is, okay? Now, a lot of melodies, and, you know, as I explained before, a lot of melodies are built on different intervals, okay? They don't all go in the scale formation where we just go up in step motion, okay? They do a lot of skips, okay? A lot of skips from low to high and high to low, okay? So we're getting to recognize just in the simple C scale where the intervals are, so you can hear the differences in the distances, okay? How they sound, okay? So now we have, again, from C to D was a major second, okay? Major second sounded like this, C to D. Okay, if you heard that, let me just raise the volume up a bit and, excuse me. Okay, do, re. Okay, so that's what we have there, a major second. But then when we go from our C to E, okay, there we have a major third. Okay, so if you recall the major third, it goes from do to mi. C to E is like a do to mi, and it sounds like this. Do, mi. Okay, notice that I am singing the notes, okay? Not to show off my voice or anything, because I got morning voice anyway. Okay, it doesn't sound all that great. But the idea is when we sing those pitches, it actually helps us to hear them, of course, not just by, we may not even be able to get to a piano or what have you. We may not even know much about we did some lesson about the piano. And we got to navigate around the piano a little bit, but let's say you don't have that, okay? And you can only play like one note. You can figure out the distances by using that solfege. Do, mi. Okay, and that is known as a major third. From C to E is a major third. But then we went as far as to an F, okay? The last interval we went over last week was from C to F, and that, I told you guys, was known as a perfect fourth. P4 is a perfect fourth. Remember that uppercase M stands for major, okay? So major second from C to D, major third from C to E, and then from C to F is a perfect fourth, okay? Do, fa, okay, and it sounds just like that, C, F, okay? Then the way we kind of recognize those particular intervals is when we hear a certain tune sometimes, okay? Well, do, re is pretty, not much of a tune there, but, okay, from C to D, okay, it sounds just like that. However, from C to E, major third, we can think of a doorbell usually when we're thinking about that interval between your C to E, a major third. Do, do, mi, or we do it backwards, so to speak. Mi, do, ding, dong. Okay, so if we think about it that way, do, mi, da, ding, dong, ding, dong. Okay, you can think of a doorbell sounding right away, and that is a good way of recognizing when you hear it. That's a good way of recognizing the major third, okay, from C to E. To recognize the perfect fourth, okay, from C to F, okay, for a distance of 1, 2, 3, 4 notes, right? What does that sound like? That sounds like the wedding march. Here comes the bride, do, fa, fa, fa. Okay, so do, fa, C, F. That is our perfect fourth right there. Okay, guys? So that's the idea. Now, we need to be able to go from C to G. Let's look at that. Let's go to the blackboard, shall we? We're going to go to the blackboard. And I would like everybody to take a look. The blackboard, how that goes. Okay, let me see if I'm, yep, okay. So on the blackboard here, I'm going to just draw my staff lines, okay? Have a measure, draw a measure line ready. Get that ready. Okay, and so we're going from C, okay, this is our C, all the way to our G, okay, if you take a look on the whiteboard, our G, okay, we do a nice interval, just singling out those intervals right there, all right? Here's our G, okay? So here's our, let me just use another, okay, this is our C, and this is our G, just so we can label those notes. Okay, C and G. This is what's known as a perfect fifth. P5 stands for perfect. This is known as a perfect fifth. Okay, so from C to G is a perfect fifth. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Yeah, great. So a perfect fifth is what we have over here. Okay, from do, really. So when we think about C to G, it's really our do to sol. Okay, it's our do to sol. Do, sol, do, sol, C, G. Let's see if I'm right about that interval. Okay, let's see if I'm right. So it's, oh, so excuse me, I went an octave lower. Do, sol, that's what that sounds like. Okay, and in fact, let's go over to the piano so that you can get a good bird's eye view today. I was doing that last time, so I want to do the same thing as well. So take a look, and I'm going to label my keys over here when I get a good camera angle, of course. There we go. All right. So if we're at middle C, folks, oh, I get so crooked. All right, we're at middle C. Okay, there's our middle C. All right, we're going from C, D, E, F, G. Okay, let me write that better. Okay, there's our G right there. Okay, so if we were doing an interval of C to G, do, so, Si, G. Okay, that's what that looks like on the piano and sounds like. Okay, in fact, we want to try to recognize, if we wanted to just recognize our perfect fifth. Okay, again, this is a perfect fifth, a distance of a perfect fifth. If we're trying to recognize it merely by sound, think of the Star Wars theme. Okay. Okay, so if you're a fan of Star Wars, okay, the Star Wars theme starts off with a perfect fifth. Okay, so there you go. That's our perfect fifth, and that's how we recognize it. Okay, that's how we see it, but that's also how we recognize it when it comes to the pitches. Okay, here we go. Let's go right back to our board here, please, and let's back it up a little bit, or fix that angle. Actually, we need to back it up. There we go. Okay, so I'll get used to camera angles one day. I swear I will. Okay, but here we go. Let's go right now. We need to go now. We've gone from C to G just now as a perfect fifth. Okay, as you see. Now we're going to write something else on the chalkboard, and it's going to be from our C, of course, to our A. Okay, let's see what that looks like in a regular interval. Here we go. All right, I'll draw 5 more lines. 2, 3, 4, 5. Treble clef. And so we have our middle C all the way to A. Okay, there we go. So we have our middle C all the way to A. Okay, here we have our, let's write it in the correct place. All right, C, and then here's our A. Okay, C, A is also really in solfege, in terms of solfege, is our do to la. Okay, do to la. That is our solfege right there. Can everybody see that? I'm sure you can. There we go. Great. Let me get that light, less of a glare. That would be nice. Okay, there we go. Much better. Okay, so from do to la, from C to A is our do to la. Okay, what does that sound like? Do la da ba. Okay, so off the top of my head, I can't think of a song, a tune that actually gets connected to that particular interval. So this is where a lot of the work in singing your solfege really comes into play. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, so, do, la. I'm sure there is a tune somewhere that we can recognize that. And when I find what that tune is, I'm definitely going to tell you guys. I'll make sure I divulge the secret to you, okay? But from do to la, okay, that is our interval, okay, which is known as, by the way, I didn't label it yet, that is known as our major sixth. Okay, let me erase that a little better because I erased it earlier with my finger. There we go. And so that is known as our major sixth. Okay, uppercase M and 6. That is known as our major sixth. So that you know, major sixth from do to la, from C to A, that is a major sixth. Okay, where is A and C on the piano? I'm going to show you in a second. Here we go. I'll write it in. All right, and let's see what that looks like. Okay, so we went from perfect fifth, C to G. Now from C to A, that is our major sixth. Okay, so hopefully you wrote M6 underneath that interval when we had it on the blackboard. Okay, that's how we hear it and see it. Okay, on the piano. Do, la, si, a. That is an interval of a sixth. Okay, all right. Let's come right on back to the board. Okay. Make sure, because okay, there's the other black part of the blackboard. I want to make sure that we can see it all. Okay, so now we need to go from our middle C all the way to our B. Okay, middle C to B, skipping everything else. Middle C to B. Let me show you what that looks like on the board. Here we go. Okay, so let's draw another. I'm going to just draw some other staff lines. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My measure. Here's my treble clef. Okay, here's my middle C. And then here's my B. Okay, so there you go. Middle C and middle C and high and up on the staff is B. So here's C. Let's label it. Okay, that is our do in solfege to T. Okay, that is our do to T. Okay, do T, and that is known as our major 7. Okay, our major 7. From do to T is a major 7. Okay, it's a 7th away. Okay, if you take a look on the whiteboard. Okay, counting the steps. Okay. I had said it before. Okay, it's as we count the steps, that's what gives us the number of the distance. So if we go from C to G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 steps. If we go, that's 5 letters. We go from C to A. Okay, hence the perfect fifth, right? We go from C to G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. C to A is a major 6th. Okay, and then we go to B. That is our major 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm just counting there. But that's what gives us the name of our major 7th right there, from C to B. Okay, and don't have a particular tune that goes along with that. But once again, I'm going to bring us to the piano so you can see where that B is. Okay. Okay, so there we go. Oop. Angling this camera is just such a challenge. Okay, but C to B. Do, T. Okay, so much higher. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 steps, major 7. Okay, that is known as a major 7. Uppercase M, 7. Okay, that is our major 7. Now I'm going to stay right here because I would like to then go right to the next interval from here. Looking what it looks like on the piano. Okay, I'm going to write our upper C now. There we go. Okay, that is our C. Okay, so why am I going to the next available C? Okay, do, do. Basically, your 2 C's here, they're just the high and low versions of themselves. Okay, do, do, and they're both do, right? But this is middle C, low do. This is high do. Okay, so that is what's known as a perfect octave or a perfect eighth. Okay, 8 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's look at it. Let's see what it looks like on the board. Okay, on the board here. All right. So what does that look like on the board? I'm going to draw my staff lines here. If you have your manuscript paper, you don't have to draw staff lines, which is good. Okay. But here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to measure my little bar line. Okay, here's my treble clef. And here's my C, middle C, all the way up to high C. Okay, there's my high C. And so here's middle C, label it, and C. Okay, which is your do, which is your two do's, low do and high do. Okay, this again, I said, was known as a perfect eighth. A perfect eighth, or in other words, AKA, let me write that, AKA, also known as an octave. A perfect, I should say, let me write that better. Another word for that again, a perfect octave. Okay, OCTAVE, perfect octave. Okay, does everybody see that? Yes, we do. Okay, just making sure. So, technically speaking, if we were gonna write the actual distance, okay, from do to do, from low C, middle C to high C. Okay, that is known as a perfect eighth, or in other words, a perfect octave. Octave simply meaning a distance of an eighth. Okay, 8 notes in distance. That's what that sounds like. So through the C scale, okay, through the C scale, we've been able to see the distances. Okay, just going up in steps, and then at the same time also seeing the distances straight up. Skipping all of those other step notes in between. Okay, skipping all over that and seeing the distance. But that is what they're labeled as. Okay, so let's review again. We have from C to D, a major second, M2. From C to E, major third, M3, uppercase M. Remember, using uppercase, okay, when it comes to that. A lowercase m would indicate a minor, okay? A minor interval, okay? So we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that when we're writing these, okay, make sure you write uppercase M to understand, to see what that is, okay? So major second, C to D, C to E, major third, C to F is a perfect fourth. Then we look on the blackboard, okay? We have just continuing on from C to G, okay, do to sol, that is our perfect fifth, okay, P5. Our C to A, which is do to la, is our major sixth, uppercase M, major sixth interval. Then we have our C to B, which is our do to T, right? We have our major seventh as an interval of a major seventh. And then last but not least, our C, middle C to high C, do to low do to high do, okay, is our perfect eighth, or AKA, also known as our perfect octave, okay? And you can hear it through those pitches, okay? Let's just listen to that actually. So major second, C to D, major second, okay? Okay, so you can see me, I don't have to hide from the camera. So major second, okay, C to D, okay? C to E is a major third, okay? C to F, perfect fourth, right? Our C to G is a perfect fifth, okay? Okay, so that's the Star Wars theme when we hear the perfect fifth there. Okay, from C to A is a do to la, no la. Okay, from C to B is a major seventh. Okay, let me re-mention it, is our do to la, which is our major sixth. Okay, perfect fifth, C to G, major seventh, C to A, and C to B, major seventh. And then last but not least, perfect octave, P8. Do, do. Okay, actually we can even, at times we can even think of the, the Sound of Music has the song with the going over the C scale, okay, and I think that's a very good reference. As fun it is as it was looking at that show, looking at that Broadway musical of the movie, or if you've seen it live, that's a really good reference to the C scale. That whole song is all about the C scale, okay. But the more we go over scales, okay, and we can understand the intervals a lot better. Okay, so the next time we meet, everybody, I'm also going to, we're going to be in a different key. Okay, we're going to be in a totally different key, C that scale. So this was the key of C, learning those intervals, but we'll be in a different key and learn about the intervals there. So through the scale work, we learn a very great deal about those intervals. We learn what those distances are. First, going over the step motion of those scales, and then listening to the distances, seeing it on the piano visually, okay, and more importantly, hearing them, okay. The more we hear them, the more we even sing them, okay, the better we can hear them. Okay, everything when it comes to all of those things that I just mentioned, when it comes to the intervals, they just work really hand in hand. Okay, and that will increase our musicianship by 10 times. Being able to listen to those intervals so that we can learn how to write melodies. Okay. And that's it. I'm looking at the time, and yeah, we are a little past our time, but guys, we did a great job. Hopefully you got everything down, everything that I wrote down, okay, including the other part of that panel on the blackboard of those distances. Hopefully you got those down, and also the intervals from last week as well. Hopefully you got those written down. If not, review the previous video so that you have those, okay? Very important, so that we know those intervals of the major of just one of the major scales, our most basic, which is our C major scale. Okay, next week it'll be a different scale, and you'll get to see how that pans out when it comes to those intervals in those major scales. Okay, guys, give yourselves a nice round of applause. Great job, everybody, and I just want to thank all of my Academy members. Thank you for all your support and continuing to watch. Make sure you watch, take down notes, review the videos. Every video lesson is always going to be there, okay, so that you can simply replay it and practice, put into practice all of those concepts that we do, including singing the hymns, put into practice everything. Not only that, thank you so much for all those people around the world that support Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. I thank you so very much. Let's continue to make music together, learn about music together, okay? And as always, I wish you happy practicing. Everybody take care and have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.